I grew up in a small town in Georgia called Dahlonega, Georgia. It's about an hour and a half north of Georgia Tech's campus. My parents both went to that other school that we don't talk about. So Georgia Tech was really not on my radar until later in high school when I realized that I liked computer science and I knew Georgia Tech had a great program for it. So when I was touring schools, of course, I came here kind of against my own will, but then I saw the campus, I met some of the people here, and I immediately had that aha moment where I fell in love with the campus, fell in love with coming to Georgia Tech, and I knew it was a great place to be, especially as an in-state student for computer science. I first picked up a camera when I was really young, got on iMovie on my computer and started splicing clips together, made my grandparents play as actors in my little home videos. And as I got older, I would make videos for my high school, do different film projects, do photography. But it really culminated when I was at Georgia Tech my freshman year. I started making and posting YouTube videos onto my channel, mostly centered around Georgia Tech, what it's like being a student here, my life as a Georgia Tech student. And then really when the pandemic hit, I went home, didn't have much to do, as many of us did. So I really took it up as a big-time hobby, started making a lot more videos. And then I realized students wouldn't have that because of the pandemic. They wouldn't be able to see what the school was like in tour. So I wanted to make videos around Georgia Tech so that students who were thinking about coming here, who wanted to come here, could see the campus, could get a feel for what it's like, and maybe decide they want to come themselves. I remember scrolling on Instagram and seeing some student workers on the Georgia Tech social media channels and being, I wonder if that's something that I could do. So I looked up all the different names that I could in different departments, tried to cold email some people, and the cold emails eventually worked and got through to someone on the other side and set up some time to meet. The rest was history. It was something that was definitely one of my biggest highlights, if not the biggest highlight of coming to Georgia Tech, is being able to work on the media team and have that creative outlet that I think a lot of people need. I loved all the resources that they had to help students figure out what their path was, whether that be through co-ops or internships or research experiences. I was thankful to be able to get an internship through some of the career fairs here. And I think that working environment paired with my classes gave me the understanding that I needed to realize that the traditional software engineering path wasn't for me. So I adjusted a little bit, and while still in the computer science program, took a couple classes at Scheller, the business school as well, and I'm now pushing forward kind of in a mix between the two. So this past summer, I worked in product management at a software company, and I think that's where I found my fit. And now, that experience was so great. That's why I extended my graduation, was to try a little bit of a different career path, try a little bit of a different experience, and it ended up being something that I fell in love with, and now I'm going back to start after I graduate out in California.